Hi, my name is Scott, and I wanted to talk to you today about using Festool's HL850 planer to cut rabbets or rebates in work using both the bench unit and angle stop, as well as freehand using the angle stop and the rabbeting stop that comes with the machine. I find that the HL850 is a viable option to make these two types of cuts as opposed to using a router or a table saw or some other method. Now, before you begin, it's important that you always wear safety glasses anytime you're using power tools, as well as hearing protection. And you also want to read and understand any of the instructions and operating manuals that come with your tools and accessories so that you work safely. I hope you enjoy this video. I thought I'd take a minute just to show you the bench unit, because I think this is just a marvelous accessory that Festool makes available for the HL850. It's a really robust extruded aluminum base. This thing is solid, much more solid than what it looks like in the catalog. Really thick extruded aluminum. And on the bottom they have the rubberized strips similar to what you find on the guide rails. It really helps keep the bench unit steady. You'll notice that there's some slots in the bottom, some T-track slots, as well as the slots in the extrusion, and you can simply just use any of the Festool clamps to secure the bench unit to your work surface, whether it's an MFT3 or some other work surface, to make it really secure and steady. You can slide this little gauge on, line it up to that mark, and then you'll know what your depth of cut is just by looking at the gauge. Here's a close-up of the locking mechanism for the switch. With the planer, you have to depress the safety lock before you can engage the machine with the trigger. And obviously, if you're using the bench unit, it'd be really difficult to run the machine by having to squeeze the trigger by hand. So Festool developed this little gauge here to keep the machine on, which is really great. It has this little slot cut in the side that fits on this piece of angle, and it just slides over the switch. And then to turn the machine on, you just depress the safety lock. I want to install the angle stop on the planer to make a cut so I can get a 90-degree cut on some work I'm going to do. So with the 5mm Allen key that's supplied with the machine, I'm going to put this accessory fence on the planer. And it fits with this little key on the bottom. It screws in with a 5mm Allen key into a hole in the bottom of the machine. I'm going to actually set the depth of cut to the max, which is 3.5mm. So I should be able to complete this rabbet in just a couple of passes, since we set it for 10mm. Did a nice job, nice and square. To set the rabbeting gauge, basically what you want to do is you line this indicator, has a little mark on the base that gives you a rough dimension, and then what I do is I take a rule and measure from the bottom of the indicator gauge, the rabbeting depth stop, to the top of the blade. And that will ensure that I get an accurate depth of cut measurement. Nice clean rabbet on the side. set for 20 millimeters. It's exactly dead on. I'm going to take the rabbeting stop off and just keep going just to show you the capability of the machine using the unlimited rabbeting depth. Again, this just swings up out of the way so you can get really flush to the side of the material. Also, there you have it. This completes a demonstration of how to use the HL850 planer by Festool for rabbeting, whether it's in the bench unit or freehand like I have it set up here. This machine does a really nice job at that task. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you find this video useful.